Welcome back to another video with the Volvo sleeper build, proudly brought to you by eBay. I was hanging on the trans mount. Oh gosh. Now in the last video, we mounted the intercooler, the heat exchanger for the intercooler, and then made this charge pipe with the blow-off valve. But before we move on, I want to address comments from the previous video where we made the Y pipe for the turbo kit and mounted the turbo. You guys had a couple of concerns with this turbo setup, and I wanted to address them and fix some of the ones that I think are actually real. Your first concern was this flex pipe over here. Now, I was unaware that flex pipes, when they get too hot, can explode and send bits of metal down the exhaust. This is a high quality flex pipe, but I think you guys are right. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't want to risk blowing up this nice, expensive turbo. So one of the things we're gonna do today is replace this with a solid pipe. Now your other concern was the support for the turbo. I added this one bracket right here, but you guys don't think it's enough. And you might be right, so I'm gonna add some more support for the turbo. Changing the flex pipe out to a solid piece will help that, but I'll also build a mount off of the collector, which is a thicker wall stainless. The other idea that you guys gave me, which was a really brilliant idea, and I don't know how I didn't think about it, was to clock the turbo so it's facing down, cut a hole in the wheel well, and then just run the intercooler piping out and around the wheel well. Now, along with fixing those issues, we're gonna go ahead and mount the wastegates and make a wastegate dump tube. I'm gonna start by removing the intercooler and the radiator, then getting to work on fixing the Y pipe, and then we can start adding some wastegates. A couple of you guys suggested doing this thing where we cut the wheel well and clock the turbo. And whoever you are, I forgot, I'm sorry. You're brilliant, brilliant. I don't know why I didn't think of it, because it's just sheet metal here. And now it's gonna look a lot better. IATs are gonna be way cooler, and it's gonna be easier to work on too, because I'm not gonna have to frickin' take apart everything just to take the intercooler piping off. Looks frickin' great, fits great. You know, plus there's some fresh air by the turbo, so that might help just, you know, intake temps themselves. Second brace is on, replacement pipe is tacked in, so we can move on to the wastegates. So we have not one, but two big boy 44mm wastegates to put on this system. One for each part of the Y pipe. We need two because this motor is just so big and has so much exhaust coming out that if we only had one, it would boost creep and we wouldn't be able to maintain boost. So we have to fit these in here, and then we also have to fit dump tubes. That actually reminds me too, a couple of you guys have been asking what we're gonna do with the exhaust. A couple of you guys want it to be really quiet, and a couple of you guys want it to be really loud. Well, it's gonna be both. We are going to be doing a super, super quiet 3.5-inch exhaust with a bunch of mufflers and resonators, so it sounds as stock as it can, and then right off the downpipe up front here, we're gonna have a big ol' electric cutout. But with that being said, the wastegates will not be directed back into the exhaust. So even if it's on its quiet setting, when it gets in the boost, it'll get loud. So I think that's gonna be really cool. Cutting stainless with cheap tools is the bane of my existence. Although this isn't even a cheap hole saw. This is a Milwaukee hole saw, and all the teeth are now nice and round and dull. Bruh. It's only 4:30 and it's already getting dark out. Pretty sunset though. Yeah, check engine light. It's just for the cats. Got the goods. Well, we're in that hole saw too, but I got the piece out. So I'll just need 2 more hole saws to do the other hole. Did it warp? Did it warp? Did I frick it up and warp it? I didn't! I really don't know if it's possible to look at this and say this isn't the coolest thing I've ever built. At least coolest looking in terms of specifics. The Rally Miata might be cooler in terms of a project, but this turbo kit is rad. There was a lot of ways I could put the Wastegates, but this seemed like the best in terms of heat management, and in all honesty, it looked the coolest. I really wanted the Wastegates to be like parallel, like looking like they were going together, and they are in line now, and I think that is really cool. This Wastegate is gonna flow really well because it's right at the beginning of a bend. This one not so much, but these are pretty big Wastegates, so we shouldn't have a problem. You might be asking yourself where the Wastegates are gonna go. Well, I'm planning on combining them into one, and then shooting them right down here. It's tight, but there is enough room for a 2-inch pipe. All right, so the Y pipe is back on the section where the flex pipe is all welded up. The Wastegates are all welded up. The wastegate flanges are all welded up. Now we gotta make some wastegate dumps. It's gonna be a 2-to-1, and then the 1 down to the floor. we got the wastegate, we got the hole it has to go into the dump tube, and we got this piece that I made. Bunch of pie cuts, as usual, frickin' perfect. Now instead of welding it to the wastegate and this right now, then welding up all the seams, I'm gonna weld up all the seams first. That way, if it warps, then it warps now and it doesn't make the flange not fit. Well, ladies and gents, this is the finished product. I'm really happy with it. It was a lot of work and it was just tiring and kind of boring, and I didn't like doing it too much, but it looks really good. The results are good. The dump tube isn't totally finished because I still have to make the actual dump part that directs it down under the car, but I'm not gonna do that until I have the downpipe down there because it's gonna be tight and it's gonna be much easier to make the wastegate fit around the downpipe than the other way around. And yet again, we're gonna be heat wrapping all of the exhausts. So even though that wastegate dump tube is close to the fill cap and some other stuff, it should be fine. And same goes for the Y pipe and the belt. The heat wrap should take care of that. So ladies and gents, that is all for this video. Actually took a little bit longer than I expected. I wanted to get to the intercooler piping, but we'll do that next video. So in the next video, we will have the complete turbo kit done. And then we are really close to getting this thing running and finished. Thank you guys so much for the support on these videos. If you want, you can check out the merch. This is the comfiest hoodie you'll ever get. And if you get it now, you probably won't get it before Christmas because the post office sucks, but maybe. If you want to support the channel in other ways and watch that next video, you can head over to Patreon. You guys have no idea how helpful Patreon is. It's very helpful. So thank you to all of my patrons. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, have a fantastic day, and goodbye.